Good morning, everybody. Welcome back for a battle from the 3rd of June, where I decided there probably hasn't been quite enough bias on the channel lately, so why not throw a little IS-6 into the mix. It's, have a entire 7.3 lineup set up, but as it turns out, I didn't really need any other vehicles, although you'll see without too much foreshadowing. As we get going in the battle here, I decided I would probably make my normal run towards B. I briefly considered going off towards A and just brawling there, because after all, I'm in the IS-6, and, well, you can brawl. But I figured if I did that, I'd run into a Conqueror shooting a PDS through my upper front plate, or maybe even a Charioteer, which actually happened to me in 2 previous battles. A Charioteer knocked me out in 2 shots, and then a Charioteer knocked me out in 1 shot from the front. So that was interesting in my IS-6. Needless to say, I didn't save those battles. Pretty decent sized battle here with quite a lot of players on both teams, as ended up being a good thing that I went over towards B, because as you can see, the rather large bulk of our team all went to A, and we had a few people actually go for C, which is nice on Poland. So I was trying to line up to where I could actually see anyone trying to cap the C point from the other team, but it's kind of hard to actually detect that from up there. Plus I figured with actually some of our teammates going over there, I could probably more focus towards my own direct front here. So, did a little check around to make sure any teammates weren't still coming up. Nobody really was. So, getting ready to take a peek up towards the C point here. Seeing if I can spot anybody. The zoom reversal that Gaijin did is still messing me up in some of my battles here. I'm still expecting the zoom to not be zoomed in when you first get into a battle. Took a hit in my right side there. Couldn't exactly tell what it was from. I figured it was somebody back off to my right, probably from C or maybe close by, so circled around here and try and chase him down. Expecting D to start getting decapped at any moment. Looking off that way. Don't see anybody. And there we go. I was right about to start heading over towards the heavies that you can see getting engaged right past the A point, when the B point did in fact start getting decapped. So now I know I've got an enemy over here to go and eradicate, and that's what I'm going to try to do. Come around the corner, and what do I see? Why, it's a Carnarvon. Or, well, it was a Carnarvon. Not sure how he didn't hurt me. I thought he hit me in the side of the turret. That shot right there, though, that was from a teammate. And that next shot that hit me, that was also from a teammate. So I'm thinking I'm taking hits from actual enemies. And realize when I hold down the J button and there's no damage happening to me that this is actually from my teammate up there who's up on the sniper ridge hitting me. So, not entirely sure what the deal was with that, but got away from his shenanigans and headed for the main bulk of fighting going on up here by in between A and B. Pretty sure there's no threats to the left there, since that's where that T-34-100 came from, so I'm trying to decide where I want to go here. I don't really want to go into their spawn, because that's where their pretty much our entire team is, and I just don't like that kind of gameplay, so I'm going to circle around and move up towards C and try and help those guys over there. See if I can find any more enemies that way. Plus, these rocks up here are a pretty general location for people to hide and camp and shoot towards the seaside. So you can see our guys shooting into their northern spawn, which I don't really want to do unless I absolutely have to. And then as I crest over the top of this ridge, I see an enemy getting marked in the background, and then I see an enemy somewhat more in the foreground. Happen to just have the gun just cranked down gently right into the right spot without bouncing or whipping too hard, and it wasn't too hard to put a shot right into his side. Bye-bye M103, and then I had time to line back up on our poor Doom Turtle in the background there. And like I said in the chat in a second, I felt more like that was a mercy killing for that poor guy. You can see quite a bunch of enemies respawning in their northern spawn, but I just don't see the attraction in driving into there and shooting them. I'd rather beat them in a fight. So I'm heading back towards A now to go north of A and make sure that there's none of them in the usual sniping spots and the hiding areas in the tree line to the north, while still looking into their spawn, because of course if something big and dangerous is coming out, I still don't want to give it my side to shoot me. So I briefly considered just parking directly in front of this Tiger 2 just to block him and then not actually shoot at anything. And then I figured, well, I'll just machine gun these guys to see if I can get a cheapo assist off of them, because our guys are going to kill them anyway, and then they started capping A, so I felt better about abandoning the enemy spawn and actually going and fighting for real. So you can see some kind of SPG getting marked up in the tree line there. And I'm trying to figure out who was capping A, and right as I turn away from A, they stop capping it, so now I'm going to go... I figure I'll focus on the guy that's up here, because whatever decapped A is probably being engaged with fighting. And then he actually kills somebody. And now I am kind of trapped between some enemy over at A and some enemy SPG in the trees here. So of course, I head towards the unknown enemy in the trees, and that's when the T-26 E11 drives by in the background. And by the time I would have been able to turn around and get at him, he drove away and I couldn't see him anymore. But I still stopped and hoped that he would pull out into the open where I could shoot him back there at A. So I'm just kind of sitting and waiting on him, as the enemy SPD doesn't seem to be shooting. And for some reason, he knows right where to pull out and shoot right at me. So I don't know if I was getting spotted by something, or if he just somehow saw me. I don't know. But I put a hit into his breach that did pretty good damage. Then I'm getting marked now by an SPAA coming out of their spawn, which of course is mostly just irritating until I take a hit from the SPG that was hiding north in the tree line here. Turns out he's an FV 4005 who got taken out by a Quellian. Thank you, Quellian. And then I turn my attention back to the Super Pershing over here, who it turns out is actually still there. And then he gets taken out by the T-34-100, and now I'm going to turn my attention to the pesky SPAA, who has now made himself all kinds of a target. And then he gets destroyed, so fine, so be it. So while I wait for my repair to finish, I look at the enemy team. There's only 2 of them left. I'm assuming someone is going to be in air, probably, and then this guy comes back in a tank. Now we got to play the... when is he going to be eligible to shoot again? He's already fired at me. He starts moving. You would think that would make him eligible for being hit in his spawn, but no, apparently not. Apparently not. So who knows what the rhyme or reason is for spawn protection. And right as I'm starting to think there's probably going to be enemy air here, type and ask the team, is there enemy air coming? And oh yeah, there he is. So I just assume that none of the 50 people here saw the enemy air coming because nobody said anything, so... Anyway, it was a pretty good battle with the IS-6, all things considered. I'm still looking for a nice, 17-kill battle in it, but, anyway. I no sooner respawned in the Object 268 and started trying to engage him with my rooftop machine gun, and the battle ended, so... Like I said early on, I didn't really need the rest of my lineup, just the IS-6, but I still did end up spawning in something else for about 8 seconds. At any rate, in the previous battle, I had finished off the Mark of Distinction for the IS-6, so all that research just kind of goes to nothing. But I did make 74,000 lions. And take a first place with some kills and a couple captures and an assist, so not too bad. The team did pretty decent in the kill range there. Relatively normal awards, and there you go, there's the kill feed. Not particularly exciting, but the battle was a pretty much one-sided stomp, so hope you guys like this one. We'll see you next time for more War Thunder very soon. Take care as usual, everyone, and we'll see you later. Have a great day, gang.